Hier ist Johannes Altmann.
Johannes Altmann.
Hello, hello.
Hello, everybody. That's a really big stage. I have to measure it by walking around. Thank you very much for having come here shortly before you're going to have your beer and another break. And amongst all those highly professional speakers, I feel honored that you came to listen to my thoughts. Dream job. I have got a dream job. My daughter recently said, I want to do what you do. You're playing with Lego, you're working out a lot of things, handicraft, and you're traveling, you're in hotels, and you are at home on quite a regular basis and not too late. That's true. I come home to think about things. I've got a dream job because I can think about things others don't have time. You don't have time for thinking about things. So I would like to tell you my thoughts. Those 4 terms here, are the 4 areas in which I've been working for the last 16 years. Actually, you could say I've spent 4 years in each of those areas. 4 years I've devoted to usability, where I, as a service provider or usability expert, what a stupid word, usability expert. Anyway, I have been looking into usability for 4 years. The user-friendliness of an online shop, the usability of an online shop. Question, can I actually use it? And when I look back to what we saw 16 years ago and compared to today, I would say I can tick things off. All the shops can be used today. I can order anywhere. There is a very good dispatching system, etc. The second area we've been looking into for quite some time is user experience. And you heard a lot about it in recent years when you were in touch with Shopwares. We need a shopping world. You must do storytelling. You must create an experience, offer an experience, user experience you need to offer. So we've done an awful lot here as well. And then we moved on to customer experience because we said it's not only an optimization of conversion A, B, and then we'll select A. No, it is a real cool shop. A shop that raises desire, that becomes popular, will be cool all the way through. So there's a whole package. The return process would be easy and simple. I can call and somebody is answering the call and they're all friendly. So they're companies where I can say the whole chain is positive. So user experience, and then later on customer experience. And after that, currently, actually, I'm looking into happiness. That's one of my hobby horses. What makes us happy? Maybe you've got a happiness crisis. I turned 40 last year, and I thought an awful lot about what makes people happy. So we continue to follow up on this thought in connection with our users and customers and ask the question, what does make you happy? Now, I thought about this woman for a really long time. Well, I have no problem looking at her, and she keeps looking back. And I'm thinking. And I'm thinking, what is she thinking of? How tall is she? What's her name? Where does she come from? Is she nice? But what is she thinking of? And I drew one conclusion, and I'm pretty sure that I know what she's thinking of. This woman is thinking about money. Because we're all thinking often about money. And if we're all thinking about money, she will be thinking about money as well. She's thinking about money because we human beings in our brain really love thinking about money. Are there any amongst you who don't? Money is so good, practical. You can count it, you can sort it, you can compare it, you can measure it. It's so convenient, you can weigh it. Money for our brain is probably the nicest thing in the world. It's so hierarchical, so logical. The euro, many cents, few cents, 1 cent. Money is cool. Money is really cool. And this is why this woman is thinking of money, and I'm thinking about money too, and we all do, don't we? And why are we thinking about money? Because we keep telling ourselves, if I've got some money, I want to have some more and a little bit more, because money is so cool, I can count more of my money, and even if I got more, I can count a bit more. Why do we do so? Well, it's a bit like Dagobert Duck. who said, I've got my money warehouse with all the coins and I will jump into that money pool and swim in it and I feel every single coin. Now, we use money to swap it. Money for us is only a platform where we get something totally different at the end, because we link money with freedom. And we relate money to totally different things like desire, longing, saving me from a disaster situation, rescuing me, happiness. I believe that, or people believe, if I've got a lot of money, I will be happy. Recently, there was a conference in San Francisco. What was the title? Happy Money was the title, 2-0. And once again, they thought about what money is doing to us. And there was a study that came out again, and that was confirmed several times, namely below $50,000 income per year is a threshold for happiness. Everything below doesn't make us happy. Everything above is too complicated for bureaucratic structures, etc. So everybody of us would need 50,000 in order to be happy. 50,000 euros could help you to purchase freedom. And that would look like that. Because this freedom, this money, means we swapped something that was sold to us. So what was sold to us was unlimited freedom, youth. Well, I could tell you, don't take that one, take the TC. You would have bought in more coolness. We want a maximum of money, and we want to swap it against something different. So it's not really about money, is it? But at some point in time, I found out, and I think that's more a personal experience, at the age of 40, it was last year, where I concluded more money doesn't mean more freedom. Working more, yes, gives me more money, but not more fun. More money doesn't give me more Volkswagen trucks and not more adventure, but it gives me more work. So my conclusion was more money, more work. So basically, I'd rather swap it, namely less money against less work. And we've had an experience, and that was my experience last year. Probably it was kind of selective perception, which I concluded as a happy year, where there were a lot of studies concerning happiness, and there was a major survey where the question was, what would you swap? Would you want to have more money or less work? And most of them said, actually, I want to work less. Or a friend of mine who owns a company said, yeah, well, skilled workers, scarcity, yes, we have that. It's not such a problem. But I don't have a person who would like to work 5 days. They only want to work 4 days. They don't care about the money. They've got everything. So that's very special as well. We're living in times and a society where we're saying that basically we've got everything we need. We are living in a really rich society. Now, you being outstanding because of money in comparison to others is not something that's happening anymore. Now, when I take the train to travel here and buy a first-class ticket, and next to me there is Mr. Hamann sitting, owner of Shopware, sitting in the first class as well. He would have to be sitting in a first class A and myself in 1T. But that doesn't exist, so he can't be outstanding. And when we go to a swimming pool, we all go there, rich, poor, a lot of money, not a lot of money. So being outstanding because of money is not that easy anymore. In a society where we are living, where we as an average are all pretty rich, money is losing in value because I can't use it to identify myself. Now, if you summarize happiness, there are 3 F's in the German language. Family, friends, freedom in English as well. So there's a good book that's been written. People before they died, their last words are mentioned in that book. So family has always been important to me. It's one of the statements. Then friends, I didn't look sufficiently after them. Freedom, I always kept running. And at the end of the day, they find shit. Family, friends, freedom hasn't happened. And very often people found it only in their last hours of their life, and ideally you would find out earlier, and then you would have a crisis of meaningfulness and why do I run? And a lot of people think this way. It's a kind of societal phenomenon because hardly any staff would say I would stay longer at work and maybe I get a career promotion and 4% more in terms of wages. But these people would tell you, no, I will go home at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Meaningfulness or a sense of purpose was a bit easier in the past because it was a kind of sense of belonging. Let's take the example of church. We used to go to church every Sunday at 10 o'clock. I met all my friends. We were assistant ministers. It was really fun. I was belonging there. Later in the clubs or association, I was amongst the Boy Scouts, feeling of belonging again. Or you had the families, you met up with the cousins, all the extended family, and you felt that you belonged somewhere. Nowadays, we know we have got fewer and fewer of those pillars in society. They hardly exist anymore. Now, I don't really want to know it. I'm not asking the question. Church. Who's going to church? Associations, clubs, they're all suffering. The sense of belonging doesn't exist in the same way as it used to exist in the past because we are moving around. We want to move around in a world of freedom, and this is why we don't go to church anymore. This is why we don't join a club or an association anymore. That's why we do not get married at 20 anymore and have children at 21. So we're looking for different solutions. And the other solution is consumption. We are at an event under the title of consumption, so to speak. And we want to solve this issue because we are running online shops. And consumption is the trigger that gives you the recognition which you do not have because of the lack of feeling of belonging somewhere. So, for example, I've got really cool shoes and we go to all of them and meet people who've got those cool sneakers. It's our kind of belonging. Our recognition is I buy a race bicycle. So I want to identify with those who participate in those bicycle races. Or I wear a jersey for a city run and I will wear it in my office and everybody knows, oh, he is part of the city marathon. So something I consume, something I bought helps me to identify and get recognition and a sense of belonging to a group of people who wear the same, and I develop my own lifestyle. So I'm no longer buying products because I have to, because I need them, because we don't need anything anymore. I buy products because of the sense of belonging and because of my own individual lifestyle. We heard it in one of the previous talks. It sounds a bit crazy because on the one hand, we want to have this sense of belonging, we want to belong somewhere. It is so human to be together with other people. But on the other hand, I absolutely want to be individual. The best example is Google. You just enter Harley Davidson. You will get a plethora of pictures, photos, people belonging to a group that own Harley Davidson. But on the other hand, they're extremely individual. None of the bikes looks like the others, so I can adjust them in a very individual, customized way. This is the best example of consumption, the way we experience it today, and we'll experience it in the future. This is the way it's going to look like. This is what our customers look like. They're fed up at some stage. They have worked, they've done some shopping, go home at 4 o'clock, and on Fridays they won't work, as a matter of principle. So let's change perspectives. And that is the way we look like. We did not go home at 4 o'clock. We tried to work through our to-do list in our office, then had a small nap. And this is the way you are working. You're really working hard. You've got a lot on your plate because you've got 3 huge topics you want to work on: technology, product, and range. And you want to know what's Shopware doing, what's cool, what can you integrate, what can you do in order to add some more value. We're thinking about products, I hope so. There was this book that's called Long Tail, the more products, the better. So everybody tried to find more products over the weekend. More products, more turnover, more products, etc. It was a major effort. And what we are always dealing with is reaching out. Google optimization is a full list. There's this little trick how I can get around, or Facebook or whatever, how I can actually increase my range of influence. So whatever you're doing has to end in a transaction. And we're going for conversion optimization, transaction optimization, etc. And all this results in a turnover without any ties. Well, yeah, we did some turnover. You don't know the customers. Well, you didn't even see the customer they ordered. Well, I've got that friend who never created a customer account, etc. But they've got customers without any ties to the customers. Maybe this person bought once and maybe twice, but not really an awful lot of articles because they didn't track them. It's a one-off thing, a customer without any ties. And whatever it did, and that's what we found out in recent years, and that's really crazy, you managed to satisfy customers. They were really happy with you. They evaluated your shop at 5 stars out of 5, and nevertheless, you never saw them again after that. So a totally satisfied customer, without any ties, never came back. But fortunately enough, there was some rescue. You said we want to optimize, and we want to and have to work on our relevance, because otherwise we'll not get the products from the manufacturer anymore, and we need that turnover. And then you opted for marketplaces. Marketplaces is like aspirin tablets. You've got more turnover, there's more activity, and you end up where you were before. You have got more turnover, but you don't have any ties, any relationship. The customer doesn't care who you are. They just orders. Then something happened. Then the product was delivered, and that was it. And that leads you into the crisis of identity. And you keep asking, why am I doing that? That's crazy. And I myself thought, and I really have got a cool job with a DSGVO. I thought I will look for a speaker's job with Google, and then why bother? So identity crisis. But then our identity crisis is a different one from the identity crisis of the customers. Maybe ours is because we are doing the wrong thing. Maybe we are working in the wrong places. Amazon has got a market share. Oh, you calculated it, didn't you? 52% is what Jochen says is Amazon's market share. So that was kind of calculated on the basis of different figures. 52% market share, well, 48 are remaining for us. That's okay. E-commerce growth is 10% at the moment. That's cool. It's not as cool as it used to be. And for 10% e-commerce growth, a lot is taken by Amazon in the future. The EU, for 15 years, has had an average growth of 1% per year. So for 15 years now, we've been living in a stagnating global economy. And you've got an online shop, you've got products, and you know that people don't want to work more because they don't want to have more money. And because they don't want to have more money, because they don't need more products. So at the bottom line, you see, money is not growing anymore. Nothing is happening here. Possibly we have arrived at our limits. Things are gone by. People don't want to have more. Meet somebody and ask him, do you want to become a millionaire? No. They don't give you that answer. I keep meeting people who say, I want to work less, I want to live on an island, etc. Money is not growing anymore. And we want to sell, 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 sell. Well, what's growing, and that's been proven, and we've heard it time and again today, is lifestyle. People want to be different, and that's always been like that. I, as a child, wanted to have Puma sneakers in order to be different, to be cool. Today, people want to have something different. They always want to be outstanding as against others, and this is our job. We need to support these people and say, okay, yeah, we are lifestyle makers. Do you know the AIDA formula? Attention, interest, desire, action? It's 100 years old. So attracting attention, interest, making decisions possible, and action. It's 100 years old. this is how selling and marketing is working according to this principle. What have we been doing in the past 15 years? Attracting attention and acting. Yes, reaching out and action. Conversion, etc., etc. Like a steam engine. And then we found that this steam engine is much faster with Amazon than with ours, and somehow time is running away. Maybe this is a moment now that we think about what those 2 letters in the middle have to do. Create interest, trigger interest, and make decisions possible. Interest, that means setting a stage or taking a different approach than by the usual standards. You've tried it out. You always tried, every one of you tried it with storytelling, for example, but there's a lot more in the pipeline. We need to look into the I and the D, because we are no longer selling products. In most of the cases, in all cases of consumption, we are selling lifestyle. Not a lifestyle product, but we are selling lifestyle. 2 years ago, the Keller shops won the usability award, and this year they didn't win anything, and they're asking me, Hannes, can we not do things totally differently? Because you keep evaluating, assessing usability, but basically this is of no interest. Basically, we have done something totally different in the meantime. We've got that platform we built for really cool athletes. How can you evaluate that? And I said, yes, true. Very probably you built the future, not a shelf where I can get an article from, but you built a platform which is there to support people in their lifestyle. And when I look at shops today, the really good ones, I'm talking about Sportcheck, for example, it's a sense of belonging. They manage that their numerous activities, city marathons, free of charge workout, health and wellness tests, running tests, etc., is all included in their shops, because they say we are an ecosystem for athletes. Everything is available in our shop, and at some point in time you'll come and see us. A sneaker is what you want to buy, or you need some information, and you want to belong to our community of athletes. Really cool. Then friendship. Keller Sport introduced this year an app, and this app shows, well, I'm an athlete, I've got my athlete watches, I've got a Rentrastic, and that's linked with the Smiles app by Keller Sport, and this is how I can collect miles or points and smiles, and these smiles can then be converted into products later on. And they're telling you, we are your friend. Every day we are with you. If you're doing something, we'll reward you, because you will need new equipment if you're a really active athlete. Friendship, that is customer relationship. It doesn't have to do anything with a product. Or easiness. We saw a minute ago there is a turnover that doesn't grow. There's hardly any demand, and Amazon is drawing away half of it. And of this half, 1/3, I assume, will be taken away by rental agreements. People don't want to own, they want to use. So what's going to be left? 1/3 would be consumption, subscription business, for example. 1/3 of consumption could be rental business. And now you're sitting here with half of 1/3, and you're saying we want to sell products. Rent instead of buying. Rent out. I've got the Apple Watch. I bought it. For 2 or 3 months you think it's cool, it's nice, but then you think, well, had I rented it, would have been better. I would have given it back. So desire, longing, that's the nicest thing we can buy. Nice pictures, ideas, imagination. I've got an imagination. I'm working so hard. I'm with Shopware because I know on Saturday I'll be there, sitting there, having my cappuccino and thinking, oh, I deserve it. Shops will sell desires. If you go there and you say you want to sell chairs, then you will stick to them. Closeness, fast and crazy. on Christmas you do that campaign and they tell you if you install this app and if you buy from us via the app, you will have a 50% discount. Why do they do that? It's really crazy because they said we want to be closer to you. We really want to be in your pockets. We really want to be on your smartphone. Whereas all of us said app is very difficult or apps are so difficult, go for responsive. They're saying no responsive app. If you want to have clothes, there's the experience. We want to be as close as possible to you. Of course, as a retailer, I want to be as close as possible to my customer, and I have to try it, and they do it as well.
Another example, Heldbergs, they completely understand men. You can read it, I can't read it, but they have really cool stories where they say, you're a man, you need great stuff, you need to buy something of real value. You want to hand it on to the next generation. And I read it and I think like, yeah, that man understood me. That shop understands me. Bookmark, hand it on to my friends, suggested to my friend, that's my shop. Some understanding, a real understanding. Telling people that we're not only selling products, you give me some money, I'll hand on the money to someone else. But it's about real understanding. That's action. And similarities. I met Schwester at the Shoplupe Usability Award, and they are selling on earrings. They love earrings. They are wearing earrings as well, and they meet others with earrings. And women in between themselves, they love earrings, and they have more than thousands of earrings. I can see that on Facebook. How can they have 11,000 Facebook friends just because they sell earrings? So something might have happened here. They've created a community of women who do everything for earrings. Passion. Ollie is just in the front row. I've never seen that. Someone can get so much attention with a YouTube video selling a radio for cars, a car radio. You look at it and you can see that is really cool. The guy and the radio, the car, I need that radio. It's passion. It's not about classifying. When a shop isn't only good because he has got filters. Well, filter variant, yeah, that's fine, but there's not much passion behind it. Sympathy, like making good impression, positivity. Vegan recipes. Someone who's vegan can get their own recipes there. They're offering different products, offering ideas, offering features. It's not a vegan shop where you think like, whoa, but they're offering really great ideas. They're really sympathetic. They presented themselves and they're really good guys. That's the approach that I have to take. That's what I have to do. Because the world has changed completely. So, to sum it up, money is emotional. Yes, true. I know money is emotional. Too much, too little. Oh, don't want it. Well, money, I've got so much money. I've paid so much money for something. It is definitely emotional. But happiness is social. Those who are selling socially today in a social context, and shopping is the second most social thing that a person can do, to communicate with others, exchange something with others. We've technologized it in our world, that everything's automated, everything's virtual. Now I need to get closer to my customer again because I've totally forgotten about what she might be thinking. Even though I'd like to talk to her, I would really, really like to get to know her. I would like to know what she's thinking, how she ticks. So we have to change something, the reach, technology, and you must. And I must have been saying this for the last 15 years, but you must definitely get to know your customer. I've participated in workshops where shop owners say that they're embarrassed that they haven't acquired any knowledge about their customers. They would rather have to have a folder with all the knowledge about their customers, where they found out who are the typical customers. I have news articles, I have statistics, I have notes from some communication, and I have a potpourri of everything I know about my customers. And I do this with great passion when we do remote focus groups. So from PC to PC, where we communicate with shop owners, they tell me, or with consumers, they tell me, well, I use the cart as a remind list. Sometimes I have to register for the cart, and I find it's good to just use put everything in the... Sometimes I put everything in the cart, in the shopping cart, and then I decide what I want to buy. And when you might think of your statistics and what you can do with it, but some customers tick differently. So, delivery time. Just remember a woman who wants to buy her handbag, and they might say, we might think that she needs the handbag tomorrow, but most women will say, I don't need it like tomorrow. I've been thinking about buying it for a couple of months, so it's fine. It gets to me if it gets to me over the next few days. So I'm here at the stage, or you're sitting down here. We're talking about same-day delivery. We must be faster and faster. And a friend or staff of mine comes from the US and says, well, you have to wait for delivery for a week. Only Amazon Prime is fast. But we here in Europe, we are thinking that everything must be faster, even though never, ever a customer's mentioned that he wants to get his delivery faster than in a few days. Another things customers might say, delivery costs, I don't want to pay delivery costs, I'm waiting for a voucher. So when you have a woman who's got thousands of products for thousands of euros in her shopping cart, why doesn't she want to pay delivery costs of like €3? Why does she care about the €3? We've just made our analysis and found out that there is a rich customer, but that might be the wrong conclusion. Just because someone's buying expensive shops doesn't mean she doesn't care about the €3. And this person we spoke to here said, said that when she buys a lot of products for a huge amount of money, she doesn't want to pay like the €3 because she said that doesn't make sense. With that amount of money that I'm spending, I shouldn't be asked to pay any money for the delivery cost. Or we've spoken to customers who said there are clubs, memberships for different shops. H&M Club, what do you think about it? Oh, wow, that was her answer. Where is it? How can I register? And we said, well, you don't know anything about it. You don't know what you get for it. But H&M Club, being part of it, being in the community, benefiting from anything, you don't know what you benefit from. That's really cool. So our focus group here taught us the following. Happiness only happens if I've produced it myself. Happiness is the result of, for example, having found the voucher where I can save the €2 for the delivery cost. Oh, wow. So she's happy with the €2 she saved, or she might have done research on the internet. Now I'm a member of the club at H&M, and she doesn't care about how many club members there are, but she's happy with the solution because it feels clever. And we found out that the user wants to be clever, he wants to feel clever, so it's often better if we ask for delivery costs and then give the opportunity, provide the opportunity on the internet to save the delivery costs. It sounds crazy, but that's the way it is. And then there was another quote. A bargain is the best thing you can get. I must have to explain before that. She said, I've got around 40 shoes, and for one pair of shoes I spend like 150 to 200 euros. So you don't have a lack of money here. But when she can find a bargain, that's even better. That's cool. And that's paying into, like, boosting the theory that they really want to find something special. They found a voucher. Wow, look at that. That makes them happy. And what makes them unhappy, we found that out only recently. When I open the package, I'm not happy when there is no bill, but the woman in this focus group said a bill in the package just destroys my whole experience. So you buy the product, you get it delivered, and then you open the package, and the first thing you see is a bill. Well, I thought the more there is in a package, the better it is. So just leave the bill aside. So what makes your customer happy? I need to find it out. I need to communicate with my customers. And at the end, I need to collect all all these results. What does the customer need? What does he think? What does he want? What does he have? And with a summary of everything that I know about my customer, I can add to it. We are the ones who make people happy. We're not technologists. We're not engineers. We are here to make people happy. We're taking technology to make creativity scalable, to create happiness. That's our mission. And to make this mission work, we need to understand. In our enterprises, in our companies, just like Google, we must be interested in customer insights. We must look at the people, focus on the people, collect everything about the people, about our users. Customer insight, empathy for our customers, everything that every shop owner knows. You go to a shop and he says, that's the guy, I remember his name, I know what you want. That's what we need again. We need to think that way, come back to thinking that way again. And we need to have with these customer insights, we'll be able to change our viewpoint. So what Stefan Hammann said this morning, change the perspective. Maybe if we thought about it differently, everything could be different. We're not at the end, but we're at the very early beginning, even though everybody's talking about the end. We have to rethink things and talk to our customers again, gather ideas together with our customers. So once we've changed the perspective, we'll be able to generate ideas. We'll be able to think about what if. Well said. So I have to get back to this process, a lifetime process, an optimization process. If I had to say today what kind of shop I had, I'd never call myself expert or consultant. I'd say I'm probably a partner in creating, optimizing happiness. We really need to think about what makes our customer happy. And with these new insights, we need to change our perspective and bring in all the new ideas. And then she'll always have this engaging smile, and we can look at her and see a happy customer. Thank you very much. Can you switch on my mic? It's great to listen to you. I was very focused on what you were saying. Interesting terms, belonging to someone, lifestyle. You talked about a lot of things that we shouldn't use or that we shouldn't concentrate anymore, things that we used to pursue in the past. But now, if we looked at a huge forest, where can I start? Which is my first tree? Most of these people will go home tonight, or on Tuesday they will start thinking about, I've listened to your keynote, but what can I do? Well, you should do what I hear repeatedly. Someone approaches me and says, we have a backlog and there are about 800 tickets. How can I put them into order? Well, we order them we set priorities, but what's the priority? Well, we say the customer's king. The customer decides what's the most important thing, and that's how the process is starting. I can't do it overnight. say what priority, like the most important thing is what the customer wants, just cut delivery costs. But we know he doesn't want to cut delivery costs. He wants to be clever. So we always try to start anew, sit back and think about who is she? Who is my customer? Shoplupe? You're the CEO of Shoplupe. What do you do exactly? Well, we do exactly that stuff. We've developed a process and we start at one point and continue on that line of process. So the first point in time is, where do we stand today? Status quo. We look at the shop. Do a review. That's probably the most banal thing. And then we go up the line. Who did you want to be? That's the first workshop where we're working with the shop to find out what's your positioning, what's the special thing about you. And then the next step is, what's your wish list? What would you like to do? What does fit in? What doesn't fit in? Then the next step is a customer insight. So step by step, we're going forward in a very structured process to find out which levers there are for the shop to improve it without only playing buzzword bingo. Every year in January, I'm asked the question, so what will change this year? Nobody asks me anymore because my answers are really rubbish. I always ask them, what do you want to hear from me? Voice. I'm sure you want to hear voice is the next big thing. That's not the next big thing. We're at a different stage. Is that an answer to your question? Well, I understood everything you said, at least. I think that's an answer. So thank you. You'll be here tonight and approachable. I'll go where the others are celebrating. Oh, something's going on there. But we have to be here back after a short break. We've got a very interesting speaker here at the main stage at the end of this evening. Johannes, thank you very much. See you later. Thank you. Stay happy.